Gender is a crucial impact area for the CGIAR in our 2030 research and innovation strategy. And so we have a gender impact platform that acts as a hub and a centre of excellence for gender research, not just in agriculture, but more broadly around the world. And this conference is a wonderful opportunity to bring practitioners together, researchers, policymakers, and leaders of national agricultural research systems. And it's great to see the diversity of countries represented, but also different types of people in the system, from younger researchers through to senior administrators and policymakers. So for us, it's a great opportunity to bring a lot of people together to take stock of where we're up to, but also to plan future work that's even more ambitious than what we're able to do today. It's very obvious now with the impact of COVID-19, of conflict in the Ukraine, and the ongoing impacts of climate change, that these disasters and big events affect women and girls worse than men. And so some of the gains that have been made in gender equality have actually been unwound by these big current food security crises. So it's really important now that we know we're employing the best possible tools and the best strategies to improve the access of women to education, to resources, land, credit, and so on, and to decision making. We know that when 50% of the society are excluded from those things, that is not good for food security, for nutrition security, and for the health of the whole community. So the evidence is clear that when women and girls have equal access to those resources, that the whole community benefits. Some people think the CGIAR is a large organisation because we have 9,000 staff in 80 or 90 countries, but that's actually quite small in comparison to the size of the planet and the size of the task. And so the CGIAR can play an important linking role, but the main work has to happen through national partners like the Indian Council for Agricultural Research. ICAR has 113 institutes, 76 agricultural universities, many hundreds of rural knowledge centres or extension centres, and it has 24,000 staff just for one country. So it's nearly 3 times as big as the CGIAR. And it makes no sense for us to duplicate what ICAR can do. It makes a lot of sense for us and for ICAR to be complementary in the way we operate across South Asia. And it's the same with other big effective national systems. So conferences like this and the conference itself is a partnership. They are a great way for us to map where we can work with ICAR, where we can work alongside ICAR, which areas are best led by ICAR and which areas are best led by CGIAR. So it's a very important event for us in the evolution of our partnership. And the partnership with India, I can't think of a more important one for the whole of the CGIAR. There's 126 million smallholder farmers in this country. And so the challenges are urgent and of a very significant scale, and it's in all our interests to be working together. I think the best way to mainstream gender in the policy world and in the management world is a combination of top-down and bottom-up. And we had a great example of that this morning with the President of India, herself someone who grew up in a remote rural tribal village, became a school teacher, a local government and state government person, and is now the President of India. To have her talking about the importance of gender equality for food security, and the Director General of ICAR, and the person leading India's engagement as the chair of the G20. So you have very strong signals from the high-level leadership in India that this is now a central priority for the government and for India reaching its own goals. But also in the room, we have hundreds of young researchers and extension officers and government people who are learning the tools and the approaches to be able to put those things into practice at the grassroots level. And so if you have that combination of top-down leadership creating the space, but bottom-up energy and expertise to fill the space, then that's how you move from fringe to mainstream. So I'm very excited by what we saw today, to have a head of state and the key government officials in crucial leadership roles all saying how central it is to achieve equality with women and girls at the main table, to not just for food security but for rural development and for economic development more broadly. That was incredibly encouraging, and if I was one of the younger researchers or policymakers in the room, I would feel encouraged now to go out and make it happen, because clearly your leaders want it to happen. So in my view, those are the two key dimensions, top down and bottom up, coming together for more action in the middle. Well, I hope that within a few years, we're not even using the word mainstream for gender, because it will just be core business for everything that we do. If we're effective in sustainable agriculture, in resilient food systems, in tackling climate change, for all of those objectives, we can't be investing just in half the population. I would hope that this debate is redundant in 5 years.